Welcome to my CNC Remastered tutorial. In this tutorial, I will talk about how to finish the final GDI mission in CNC Remastered, the mission 15C Sarajevo East without a single combat casualty or building lost except from nuclear blast. The focus of the strategy for this particular mission is to defend critical areas and stop the enemy, the Nod, from precious Tiberium resources, while at the same time maintaining a healthy economy for the GDI side. At this early stage of the game, I tried to focus on clearing the surrounding areas from the nearby gun turrets as soon as possible. This is necessary for building a healthy economy because by removing these turrets, it will allow my harvesters to move freely and without constraints on the Tiberium fields. Once done with these steps, I would shift my priorities quickly to build the necessary defense structures on the nearby bridge, which is located quite close to my base. Those defenses are there to stop the enemy from harassing my harvesters or sneaking into my base. As for this stage, this very moment, I chose to build the weapons factory because it would give me the access to the medium tank. And I need a quick access to the medium tank in order for me to quickly dispose of the nearby gun turret. Once the weapons factory is done, I'm going to build one medium tank and one harvester to allow me to quickly dispose of that gun turret. The first gun turret is located very close to my base and it would endanger or threaten my harvester if not cleaned quickly enough. Okay, the first medium tank completed. Now I'm going to use the two grenadiers to draw the attention of the gun turret, draw the fire of the gun turret, and use the two medium tanks to quickly clear, to quickly dispose of that gun turret. And from there, I'm going to start building the repair facility because I want to get the quick access to the mammoth tank. The mammoth tank is necessary to allow me to get a quick glimpse, quickly spot the obelisk of light with the very minimum risk. As I created this replay or this tutorial in order to show people how to finish this particular mission without a single combat casualty, uh, I would approach any recon mission or recon attempt with the utmost risk avoidance, meaning I would try the best I could to minimize the risk involved into that particular scout unit, which is why I'm going to use the mammoth tank to scout for obelisk of light. Since mammoth tank could actually withstand the attack from obelisk of light, uh, three blast actually, three three laser zap from the obelisk of light, and uh, the mammoth tank could still survive, even though it's quite slow and it is vulnerable to any other attacks. But rather than using the medium tank, I'm going to use the mammoth tank, which is why I created the mammoth tank quickly. And over there, I started building the advanced guard tower. That is the defenses, the necessary three defenses that would help me prevent any harassment over my harvesters as well as sneak attacks to my base, especially to that uh, northern part of the map, which it has the power plant over there and the communication center. It would be vulnerable to enemy sneak attacks had I not provided the necessary defenses on that particular spot. Okay, now the two turrets, all the nearby turrets are gone. They are quickly disposed of. Now I'm going to focus the construction of the advanced communication center because I want to get quick access to the ion cannon strike. The ion cannon strike is necessary because I want to minimize the damage later on to my main strike force, as I'm planning to attack the nearby north base, which is located on the northwestern part of the map, and I'm going to use the full mammoth tank strike force to assault that base. That's why I'm going to focus my spending on creating the mammoth tank, because by doing so I would minimize the possibility or the risk of my unit being destroyed by enemy counterattack. Once done with the construction of the strike force, then I'm going to wait for enemy counterattacks, and then I'm going to start mobilizing the strike force, and then I'm going to capture the critical structure. Those are the Tiberian refinery as well as the airstrips later on, because I want to get access to the stealth tank. The stealth tank is necessary because I need to get access to a unit that allows me to scout or do recon without fearing of enemy retaliation. As this is still quite early, my main priority right now is still going to be creating the defenses as well as spotting the obelisk of light. Now I'm building the third advanced guard tower, and I'm going to use the mammoth tank to scout for the obelisk of light as I mentioned earlier. And I'm going to use the mammoth tank as I want to minimize the risk, uh, all the risk possible to my unit. Zap it up, and then I can spot the obelisk of light. Now I'm starting to build a light scout because I want to clear out uh, another sector, another area of turret, not turret defenses that is located actually across the bridge. There's two more gun turrets as well as a SAM site over there that would hinder my strike force later on. So I'm going to clear it out as quickly as I could, and I'm building these uh, wall section, the concrete wall section, because I need to reach the location of the turret and then build a wall section over there in order for me to stop any attempt from the enemy to do rebuilding of the turret. Now I'm using the light scout to spot the gun turret. There it is. That gun turret, had I not constructed these wall sections and I just destroyed, just attacked immediately using the tanks, the enemy would quickly rebuild it very quickly, very fast. So I'm gonna need to use these wall sections to quickly stop and block the any enemy attempt to rebuild that gun turret. Okay, now I'm going to wait for those infantry to come in. Nope, they're retreating. And here I'm starting the construction of some helipad orca. The orca, it will be necessary for me to help me defend my base, these three defense structures, these three advanced guard towers. Yeah, I'm blocking the third. Third is gone. In order for me to help the advanced guard tower defending against any artillery attack, I can strike. Boom. In this particular mission, for some unknown reason, the artillery could actually outrange the advanced guard tower, which is why I'm going to need an Orca help or aid to help me deal with the incoming artillery strike. Although I have checked on the internet last time that the range of the advanced guard tower and the artillery is actually the same, but I don't know why when I defend when use the advanced guard tower to defense from artillery attacks. Another gun turret over there. The artillery could actually outrange the advanced guard tower, which is why I'm going to need the help or the aid from the Orca. Just now you see that there are two or one or two, I forgot, cannot spot it properly. Two actually. There were two stealth tanks over there that tries to get onto the northernmost part of the map. Those are the stealth tanks that are planning to do the sneak attack to my power plant over there, to my base. Had I not constructed the advanced guard tower over there, had I not positioned the advanced guard tower, it would be easy for those stealth tanks to sneak onto my base. This is why I need to create and position the three thirds action advanced guard tower. Sorry, three advanced guard tower over there to help me prevent any sneak attack, any effort of sneak attack from the stealth tank by the enemy, thus allowing me to focus my building, my my construction of the mammoth tank, my effort, not my construction. What am I saying? Sorry. Okay, stealth tank cleared out, and an artillery attack, incoming artillery. And now I'm going to use these three medium tanks to attack the final gun turret over there that's located quite close to my base. Okay, attack the gun turret, focus fire, and I'm going to focus my spending or my purchase on the construction of a mammoth tank because I need a strike force before I start the assault on the northwestern base, which you could actually spot over there when I'm doing the iron cannon strike. I use the iron cannon strike to neutralize that obelisk of light just now. That is actually the base that I want to assault using my um, main strike force, which would consist of 6 units of mammoth tanks. Here I'm using the light scout or the Humvee. In this remaster, it's called the light scout instead of Humvee. Maybe it's more accurate since Humvee is so um, I don't know, maybe so authentic with the American combat vehicle. In this one, I'm trying to draw the attention of that stealth tank. Just now, there were stealth tank that's trying to chase the Humvee. I mean the light scout. Excuse me. And that stealth tank is actually, had I not draw its attention and lure it to my base, it's going to be a little nuisance or a little problem for my main strike force. Okay, now the enemy is starting to attack my base. Many infantry coming in. There's even a stealth tank and a light tank over there just now. And I'm using the Orca to help me clear out that light tank. stealthing attack. And now I'm going to spot another turret over there, and I'm going to clear it using the orca. Oops, an assault by many not combat vehicle. Here I try to focus the orca defense for the artillery unit, because artillery is the one that's most likely going to be able to outrange my advanced guard tower. Now cleared out already. Okay, now I'm clearing out those rocket soldier and this light tank here. And notice that I use the concrete wall section to help me block the projectile from the light tank. This is quite useful, as well as um, enables me to stop uh, any possible attacks from the flame tank. Flame tank does massive damage to the structure, and even though in this particular game the advanced guard tower is actually quite strong and tough, but when confronted with the assault of flame tank, multiple flame tanks actually, there's a stealth tank just now, it's going to be very difficult for those advanced guard tower to withstand and maintain maintain um, the the what do you call that? Maintain its position essentially, maintaining not being destroyed essentially. And I'm using the orca there to clear out the light tank as well as stopping the stealth tank attack. And pardon my English. Maybe some of you viewers think that I am talking a bit of not really good narrative or speech. Well, it's because my native language is not really English, and I'm doing my best to allow everyone essentially that can listen and understand English um, to understand easily and clearly. So pardon my English if it's not so clear or not so accurate, and sometimes I used words that are not or not really common or not really um good to be not really appropriate, not really good to be listened, not really good to be here, to be heard. Sorry. Okay, now let's go back to the main topic. Now I just finished the creation of this 6 unit of mammoth tanks, and I can now start my assault to the north base on the northwest side of the map. Here the light tank is trying to uh, become a nuisance and trying to prevent me from attacking that base with full health. And in here I try to really uh, minimize the risk of my forces, even though it's mammoth tank, from getting damage. Because once my my main strike forces has been mobilized, it cannot return back to the main base, and it has to deal with numbers, relentless waves of counterattacks from the North forces, from the main North forces, in fact, the one that is located at the southern part, the southwestern part of the map. That's why I'm trying. Oh, all the Tiberian fields are gone. Now my harvester is idle. It's not working. So I think it's about time to start the assault on the northwestern base. Here, my strike force, I started to mobilize it. It it's going to consist of 6 units of mammoth tanks and 1 unit of APC, and it is filled with 2 units of engineers inside to allow me to capture the necessary structure which I mentioned earlier in this recording. It's going to be the Tiberian refinery and the airstrip. I'm gonna need that airstrip to give me access to the stealth tank, and the stealthing is necessary for me to do a scout or recon without any fear or any worry of enemy retaliation. In here, uh, light tank coming in. I'm using the light scout to spot the last gun turret over there, and I'm going to use the iron cannon strike, clear it out to minimize the attack to my mammoth tanks. Clearing out the SAM side over there. Uh, 2 stealth tanks coming in to defend, and then the last stealth tank, clear it out. Mobilizing the APC as well, as I want to capture that airstrip. Counter attack by not light tank and even a flame tank over there coming in. And in here, there's now a flame tank, an artillery strike. Try to move that. Try to move that mammoth tank. A stealth tank defending still. A not buggy. And now I move my APC. And a counter attack by not forces. One recon bike, one not buggy. Oops, wrong click. Here you notice that uh, I had prepared the construction of advanced guard tower before I'm doing my assault. Counter attack by recon bike, 3 recon bikes just now, 2 not buggies, 4 recon bikes in fact. The construction of that advanced guard tower, they are necessary in order to prevent my main strike force being uh, surrounded or swarmed by the group of infantry. Oops, artillery strike. That's actually located very close to this section of the base. As you can see, there's actually probably 5, 6. No, actually there's 8. You can spot there are 8. There are 8 infantry squads over there. Quite big group of infantry. Had I not provided enough defenses, guard tower, advanced guard tower defenses, it would be quite risky for my main strike force to deal with uh, quite with such a large group of infantry, especially big groups of rocket soldiers. Since um, Mammoth Tank in this particular version or edition of CNC is not quite effective, not so effective against infantry. So you can imagine when it deals with a large group of rocket soldiers, it will struggle quite badly, and it will be a big risk when dealing with those many infantries, those many rocket soldiers. And please note that before you start building the defenses over there, you need to prepare quite a high number, quite a big big number or big reserve of power output. Otherwise, all those advanced guard towers will not be able to be operational. It will be offline, and you cannot defend against that many groups of infantry. Lots of not counterattacks in here. Stealth tank, not buggy, flamethrowers, lots and lots of counterattacks. Three flame tanks just now, three buggies, one artillery, and many infantry just now. And in here, I'm focusing my spending on the engineer because I need to get those credits from the flame tank just now. From the fully loaded, fully stocked Tiberium silo, not Tiberium silo, it really gives me lots of uh, fresh money, fresh new funds to help me build another set of um, army. Actually, not army, another set of combat units. Well, you could say army as well. Okay, now I'm building the stealth tank. This stealth tank is very critical as it allows me to recon the map, roam around the map, and spot the dangerous structures and armies as well. And without any fear of being retaliated and losing that particular recon unit. Boom, incoming rocket soldier cleared out. And in here, I'm building another repair facility because I'm gonna need to replenish the health of these mammoth tanks and make them into full health, back into full health before I start the attack or the assault onto North Main Base, which is located at the southern part of this map. Okay, and also um, I'm gonna use that main strike force, the mammoth tank, to stop the enemy harvester from harvesting additional resources over there. There's uh, another area or another field, Tiberium field that the enemy could use to gather resources. Here you see I moved the stealth tank there, and I can easily spot the dangerous defense structure, the obelisk of light. Boom! I use the obelisk of light to I use the iron cannon strike to clear out that obelisk of light. Pardon, pardon my narrative. Sometimes not really accurate. Another counterattack by a not buggy, and I am building a section, a wall section, a section of concrete wall. Okay, fully loaded. Now I'm building an advanced power plant in order for me to give extra reserve of power output since I'm going to plan to uh, capture the enemy Tiberium silo at the southern part. Actually, it's a bit central part of the map, and increase my credit as well as giving me access to build defensive structure nearby the Tiberium silo over there to defend against not counterattack. At this stage, I'm actually going to fortify the position at the second base, the captured north base just now, because I want to lure the enemy, the main enemy forces over there that is located at the southern part of the map, to go and start assault my main strike force as well as the position of that captured north base. Since if I don't lure the enemy, it's going to be very very hard and very very difficult to survive the assault or even start assaulting that base. It's going to be very very heavily dependent. Here I'm using my orca as well as my medium tank to clear out the harvester. Actually, by the time the harvester is attacked, by right there should be a big wave of counter attack, which I suppose and I assume would start quite soon after this. There's a bug in here that prevents me from sending my Humvee to the repair facility. Okay, these are the counterattack flame tanks. Quite a big counterattack just now. Luckily, the bridge is being blocked by those silly soldiers, silly rocket soldiers, and they cannot attack my advanced guard tower. And here the flame tank is coming and circling around, attacking my main strike force, the mammoth tank. I'm able to clear out the flame tank and the light tank over there. Another counterattack, not buggy counterattack, and a flame tank. I mean flame throwers. Sorry, two flame throwers coming in, and a harvester. A harvester is starting to gather that Tiberium, and I'm gonna need to guard it. An artillery strike, mobile artillery coming in. Another artillery, and then from here I'm going to start building two engineers, two unit of engineers, because I want to capture the construction yard and that power plant in there. Just now at the spot. The capturing of that construction yard actually it's not really a big deal, but it will help me quite significantly since it stopped the enemy from constructing two structures at the same time. So I'm going to first capture that construction yard and advanced power plant over there. I'm gonna use this APC and I'm gonna use the iron cannon strike to clear out that obelisk just now. Just now cleared out very quickly. And I'm going to capture this construction yard and advanced power plant. And I use the guard tower, standard guard tower, to defend that area of the map. Since that that is necessary to block any rebuilding effort by the enemy. Had I not put the guard tower, the enemy could easily rebuild that obelisk of light, and it will greatly threaten the construction yard, and most likely I would lose the access to that particular construction yard. I could actually sell that construction yard, but because I tried to play safe, just in case I need the access to the north defense structures, or I lose my airstrip, or I need the access to Hand of Nod, at least I would still have it. So here it is. One one North harvester just cleared out, and another major counterattack by North forces. Lots of infantry coming in, flamethrowers. flame tanks, two flame tanks, and a stealth tank. Now I started to lower the speed of the game first because I want to um, I want to focus my attention to the incoming forces. And by slowing the pace of the game, it's easy to spot the enemy forces from coming in as well as preventing me from getting panicked. Since if you don't slow down the pace of the game, it's easy for you to get panicked. As we have experienced just now, it's quite fast. This pace of the game, when I set it to fast, is quite fast indeed. I moved the APC, I destroyed that obelisk of light just now, and then I unload the engineers. It's quite fast. Had I not slow it down, I'm going to struggle to do so many tasks at the same time. A multiple task, unloading the engineers, responding to the counterattacks, as well as focus firing and preparing my defense structures, the three advanced guard towers at the northern part of the base, which is why this is important. The move to slow down the game a little bit. Now here I'm clearing out the harvester, stop it from getting access to the Tiberium resources. Now I spot the obelisk of light. See just how easy it is to scout and recon the area without fear of getting retaliated with that stealth tank. Just one stealth tank that I used just now. Which is why a stealth tank in this game is very important. The access to your stealth tank is very critical if you want to play and complete this game without a combat casualty, since you can easily spot the, the most dangerous defense structures, the most threatening one, and you can easily spot any incoming forces, so you can very easily prepare your defense forces, and thus any enemy attempt to to sneak to do sneak attack on you or do any officer harassing is easily spotted and easily countered, anticipated. Sorry, easily anticipated. Okay, now I'm moving my mammoth tank back to the repair facility as I need them to get back into full health. Here I'm starting to build the rocket launchers. I'm going to use those rocket launchers to start attacking the base, the north base later at the southern part. Because as far as I understand, the rocket launcher is have they have a longer range than Mammoth Tank and is able to uh, outrange most of the units except for artillery and of course the obelisk of light. And by positioning them in a proper spot or proper area, they could really do some serious damage to the enemy base. Here you see enemy counterattacks, lots and lots of infantry, lots and lots of rocket soldiers. I could actually use a group or some numbers of APC or Humvee or Light Scout, whatever you call it. However, if I use a low hit point unit, lightly armored unit, it is likely that I would risk losing one or two of them. As a light unit in this game, is actually very fragile, very vulnerable. They are very easily destroyed. It makes me wonder sometimes, why is it that GDI forces or GDI units in this particular instance is very easy to get destroyed and yet not, even though it's not as strongly armored, not as thickly armored as GDI counterpart, but still able to withstand and not so easily destroyed against GDI attack. In this case, the mammoth tank or the rocket attack. And what I'm talking about is actually the recon bike. They are, even though you said it, I mean, even though it's named recon bike, it's not really recon as it can actually withstand two to three direct attacks of tanks. It's funny and quite ironic that this game is. It's I I suppose it's probably because it's a very old game, and the developer, the Westwood Studio back then, had really had much chance or much time to test the balance of this particular game, which is why it's becoming kind of funny and ironic that a lightly armored vehicle and a very tiny vehicle, considered tiny to be uh, in the cinematics, is able to withstand um, quite quite a number of hits from tanks, quite a number of direct hits from a big tank like Mammoth tank. So it's somewhat weird and a bit ironic. Now here, I'm trying to play as safe as possible and limiting the risk to my units before I start the attack, because I do believe that even though the enemy is seemingly poor and passive, they're actually still having lots and lots of unit in their main base. Maybe you guys can spot that main base just now because I recon that area just now with the stealth tank, and you can see that there are some buildings at the southern part. Those are the part of the base. Now the uh, I'm using my main strike force to clear this incoming harvester to stop it from gathering any Tiberian resources. Clear out that not buggy just now. So by employing this strategy, I'm trying to actually stop the enemy from having additional resources and thus um, drying essentially drying its base from any possible defensive units. A big counterattack by now. Lots of infantry coming in and a light tank. And here I'm scouting the area using the stealth tank. That single stealth tank just now. Clear out the light tank. Another light tank and a flame tank. Clear out. There you see that the Tiberium silo over there. Now I'm going to use this stealth tank to scout the area and then see greater part of this base. Gun turret, there it is. The south part, the main base of the node. That's the construction yard. As you can see, it's quite a big base. And in here, I'm trying to use the iron cannon strike to clear out big group of infantry over there. Even though I cannot spot it, but I do believe that there's still a big number of infantry over there. So I'm just using my intuition, my feeling to just deploy that iron cannon strike at that particular spot. Starve and dry out the enemy of any defensive units, any defending units, sorry, any defending units. And once it's cleared out, I'm going to start attacking using my main strike force, mammoth tank strike force. Lots of enemy counterattack, many infantries, one artillery unit, two light tank units, and one flame tank units. One flame tank unit, an artillery, light tank, two light tanks, flame tank. Clear it out, clear out, clear out. Lots of infantry coming in, lots of not counterattack. You see, when just now I tried to move my mammoth tank to that area there, but I decided to retreat back because if I don't retreat and the mammoth tank is being surrounded by rocket soldiers, it will most likely die, and there will occur quite a major combat casualty. Also, counterattack. The not light tank in here just decided to retreat. Artillery. Oh, the enemy is getting rich again. Just now we see that the Tiberium stockpile, I mean the reserve, just now is actually quite dry. It's black, it's dark. Now it's glowing bright, bright green. So I guess it's time for me to capture that Tiberium silo to help me get an extra funding for this war. Lots of uh, counterattack by North forces or light tank, and I'm using my Orca to deal with the counterattack, clearing it out, clearing that light tank. And then here I'm going to move my Mammoth tank, and I'm going to move my APC. I'm going to use my Mammoth tank to block any incoming enemy vehicles from reaching that silo that I'm trying to capture. Then I'm going to use my mammoth tank to clear out that same site so my orca could get in and clear out that gun turret at the southernmost part of this map. Okay, starting to mobilize my APC, move it and unload the engineers. Start to capture that silo and boom! I grab the needed funds, the needed credits, and then I'm going to construct the barracks. So I have some defensive position over there. Actually, you don't really need that barrack, but I just want to make sure that I won't lose that Tiberium silo, capture Tiberium silo very easily, just in case the enemy start to attack immediately. In here, the position of this advanced guard tower is very critical. You need to position the advanced guard tower over there. Otherwise, an artillery unit could easily outrange you had it not positioned there. And in here, I'm starting to build the rocket launcher because I do believe that rocket launcher is having the same attack range as the artillery unit. That's why I start to build, and I'm planning to deploy it later on, as they are the, the siege unit, the unit that has the longest range in this particular game, in this particular site, in the GDI site. Whoops, lots and lots of not counterattack, lots of infantry, and not buggy. Okay, and then I'm going to start mobilizing the mammoth tank. Lots of counterattack just now, lots of infantry, and lots of enemy not vehicle. We have prioritized attacking the artillery because artillery could easily outrange the advanced guard tower. And you just see and witness here the use of the concrete wall. It's really helpful to have the concrete wall ready, as it really reduce the incoming attack. It really stopped the incoming attack from any tank projectiles. Actually, tank shells to be more accurate, because stealth tank is actually using rockets or missiles, and it can actually bypass the bypass the concrete walls. So it's not like all tank projectiles can be blocked by the concrete wall. But still, it's still useful, so long as you know what what vehicles you're dealing with. Harvester is trying to gather resources, and let's just destroy this harvester here. Clear it out. Another harvester. Clear it out again. And lots of enemy counterattack. Lots of flamethrowers. See, you spot. I mean, you notice the ineffectiveness of Mammoth Tank in this particular iteration or version of CNC. They are somewhat struggle, even though they're only dealing with uh, a group of flamethrowers or rocket soldiers, which is why um, I need the assistance and deployment of advanced guard tower, either advanced guard tower or rocket launcher, to assist the mammoth tank, because mammoth tank is really struggle when it comes to dealing with a larger group of rocket soldier, enemy rocket soldier. And this is actually not the case when you use the mammoth tank in a red alert, which is quite sad, even though, you know, by its shape and form, mammoth tank looks really cool, majestic, and strong, and yet, you know, quite struggle to deal with. Just a number of rocket soldiers, just a group of infantry holding the the rocket weaponry, rocket weapons, sorry, the anti-tank weapons. So it's kind of sad. It's like saying that those rockets are not not really useful, and it's like saying the rocket is difficult to be deployed. Whoops! Lots and lots of infantry, and a stealth tank just now coming into attack. See, even dealing with that number of infantry, it's still quite an issue for Mammoth Tank. Lucky now I had the backup or assistance from the rocket launcher, even though actually the Mammoth Tank could destroy those rocket soldiers. Another harvester being cleared out, and another light tank coming in and being cleared out again. Lots and lots of enemy counterattack coming in, cleared out, cleared out, cleared out. A light tank, a rocket soldier, and and now you need to separate those mammoth tanks who had full health and who had only half the health. Because those mammoth tanks that are only half health, they are actually quite vulnerable. They are actually quite fragile when dealing with massive not counterattacks. And in here, you see how I use the elevation of the map as my advantage. I used my advanced guard tower to clear out the Tiberian refinery, and later on I'm going to use my rocket launchers there, a group of rocket launcher, to start attacking the uh, power plant and the concrete wall section to give me access to scout that area. I'm going to send my stealth tank later on to that area once it has been cleared out. And I'm going to assign my harvester there because the Tiberium field has regrew, sorry. And another harvester coming in, trying to get another Tiberium. It's easy to be cleared out since that rocket launcher over there. The not buggy coming in. And you see that just now an artillery is trying to outrange my advanced guard tower, and thankfully I positioned my advanced guard tower over there. Had I positioned it wrongly, that advanced guard tower would be destroyed by the artillery. Lots and lots of flame tanks. Actually, three flame tanks, but one is a bit separated. Three flame tanks, one more being left out. These two mammoth tanks I'm going to deploy to clear out that SAM site over there. Clear out. And I'm going to use this stealth tank to spot that area. You see there's still a big group of enemy soldiers just now. That's why I'm clearing it out. So even though the enemy looks poor or looks nearly defeated, in truth it's a bit somewhat like a trap because they're still having lots and lots of reserve over there. Lots and lots of enemy forces still defending that base. And this advanced guard tower, it's almost destroyed. Luckily, mammoth tank, those three mammoth tanks assisting it, and the concrete wall stopped the light tank from uh, hurting the advanced guard tower. And now in here, I'm starting to build a larger number of orcas so I could clear that gun turret as well as the obelisk that they decided to rebuild that obelisk. So you see, even if they seem to be poor, they seem to be out of money already, yet they are still able to build lots and lots of infantry. There's still quite large a number of infantry in there. So this is where you have to play really, really careful and really, really safe. In here, I deploy my rocket launcher very, very carefully. I play really, really safely. Just a single rocket launcher to attack that advanced power plant. And if you play it carelessly, you can see that the enemy is planning the counter attack from that artillery. And had it not been positioned in that particular spot, the artillery would be able to easily outrange my advanced guard tower. Another artillery, a buggy, and a light tank. There's even a stealth tank just now. Okay. So you see, even though they seem to be running out of money, yet they are still able to build uh, quite sizable number of um, forces. Oops! I positioned my stealth tank carelessly, and it almost got fried by that flame tank. I got lucky, even though I was careless. My stealth tank didn't get destroyed. Three flame tanks here. One flame tank cleared out. Two flame tanks cleared out. And finally, the last one, bit separated. Boom, cleared out. Okay. Another stealth tank. Another stealth tank. So you see, even though it seems they're running out of money, if you count all the forces that I just destroyed, um, the number of credits, if you play it fairly, it's actually quite close to 2 to 3 mammoth tanks. Big groups of infantry uh, just being destroyed, just being fried out by that iron cannon strike. And in here, another unexpected thing is when you start attacking the final north base, the one at the south, you have to take notice at the obelisk over there. So even though they look like they are running out of money, yet they're still able to rebuild the obelisk quite instantly. So it's quite some trap over there. I don't know how they managed to do it. Um, Normally they won't be able to, and I think it's a special modification done by the developer to actually surprise the player when they start attacking the main base on the north side. I mean, the south side of the map. Okay, now I'm attacking. Oops, another artillery coming in. Harassing that advanced power plant. So when you try to aim for zero casualty, this is how you play it. You really need to play it like really, really safe, really, really slowly. Since in this particular mission, even though Nod seems to be defenseless and they are running out of money already, they still have quite some tricks of their sleeve. I mean, you know, hidden, still hidden beneath the surface, the thing that you could see. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now I'm starting to starting to build a larger force of Orca, larger force of Air Force. So when the time comes, I could assault that final defensive structures that are blocking main my main uh, strike force. Two flame tanks and one light tank, and still large and large of infantry coming. If your computer play fairly and you count the number of units that they created, they actually had gathered perhaps about 50,000 worth of credit because the number of units that I destroyed, and they are able to rebuild as well as uh, retrain, recruited back, especially those infantry, the big groups of infantry there. You, if you count it as a player and you play it fairly, it's uh, it's quite high value. It's quite a big value of credit. So by just looking at that, you can tell that the enemy is cheating. But of course, you have to add some modification or cheat to the enemy here to make the game more interesting. Otherwise, it will be too easy. It will become very easy game and not enough challenge. And yet, because I tried to make this as a special project to limit any combat casualty possible in this replay, that becomes a personal challenge, and it's quite challenging indeed. Which is why I decided to create this particular recording, this particular replay. It seems to be easy, but when you try to do it yourself, it's actually uh, not that easy, and it requires some patience. Stealth tank just now, I got lucky, so I'm gonna need to move that rocket launcher back, because otherwise I'm gonna risk that one rocket launcher died because of friendly fire. And here I'm going to clear out that guard tower. I mean, gun turret, sorry, not gun tower. And the obelisk of light. And in here I can clear it out, and they are selling it. They are able to rebuild it just in an instant, almost an instant, right? And then they got about 1,500 worth of credit, if I recall it correctly. And now it seems they are out of money and out of defending armies. No more defending units. Just not big enough. to be much of a threat for me. So let's see if the enemy could still surprise me. I'm going to move my main attack force, my main strike force, and I'm going to use my orca first to clear out the gun turret, because I do believe that there's no nearby SAM site in that area, and the only thing that could uh, harm that orca is only the rocket soldier, and the rocket soldier is coming, attacking. So you see, even though by right they are out already, but it turns out they still have something indeed. They still have some credit. They're still able to build a quite large group of infantry. Even though actually that big group of infantry actually is coming from the sales of the obelisk of light, two obelisk of light, and two gun turrets. Here, before you start assaulting the main base, remember to keep your ion cannon strike ready, just in case the enemy is trying to do something funny. If I recall correctly, I think they are trying to do something funny in here. Obelisk being destroyed, actually an obelisk being sold to be more precise, since the obelisk is actually not successfully destroyed. The Orca is not quick enough to deal with it, and I'm going to start the assault using my main strike force. Oops, I guess it's still not empty. There's still quite some force in there. Lots of infantry, two flame tanks, two not buggies, three flame tanks in fact. And then this choke point, if you're not careful, it is going to be very dangerous for the mammoth tank, for the incoming mammoth tank, since that is the choke point that is similar to my defensive position at the northern part of the base. So you better move out the mammoth tanks that are less than half of their health, and just rely on the mammoth tanks that are more closer to full health. They're much in a much better shape. Okay, now I'm moving my main strike force, and I'm attacking the power plant here. And then something funny is coming. As an obelisk of light suddenly just came out of nowhere. The enemy has been successfully rebuilt. Luckily, that obelisk of light is not able to take mammoth tank. You see the surprise and the trap just now. Had it not for the mammoth tanks, and had it not a full or a quite healthy mammoth tank, then I'm gonna lose one or two of the tank. Or if you're quick enough, you could always use the iron cannon strike to neutralize that threat, that possible trap over there. But this is a word of caution when you're trying to do the assault, the final attack, final assault on this main base. Still having a flame tank and a buggy, a not buggy. This time. Unless you don't care about casualty, but when you care about casualty like me combat casualties, always prioritize the construction yard when you do the assault on that main base, on that main north base. And in here I decided not to deploy my Orca because there's still one more SAM site at the south there. Nearby the airstrip, there's still one SAM site left. And if I decided to deploy my Orca and attack clear out the construction yard, I'm gonna need to have my iron cannon ready and just make sure that my mammoth tanks are in a very good shape. Otherwise, it's going to be another risk for my tank, and if I'm not careful, most likely I'm going to lose one or two of the tanks. And now we are reaching the final stage of the game where the main base, the main assault base has been cleared out, and only the final section of the map is this North base, the Temple of Nod, and its surrounding defenses, the SAM site, and the final advanced power plant is powering the obelisk of light as well as the SAM site is guarding the Temple of Nod. I'm going to clear out that obelisk of light as well as the SAM site. It has been cleared out already. SAM site. And in here, you better be careful with the attack of the Temple of Nod. Since the Temple of Nod, when attacked, it will trigger the nuclear missile strike. So you want to make sure that you're ready, you're really ready before you attack the Temple of Nod. And here I need to build lots and lots of Orca because I want to clear the Temple of Nod in a single strike. And even then, I'm still unable to prevent the nuclear missile strike from reaching my target. This in here, I'm clearing out the advanced power plant first because I want to make sure that the Temple of Nod is the last building standing, and no other building is, is there to support. No, no longer around. No other building is around. And you notice that uh, the one base, the north base at the northwest of the map, still has one building left, and that is the advanced power plant. I did that intentionally because I want to prevent a nuclear strike, a nuclear missile strike, or rather uh, an unprepared nuclear missile strike. So I want to make sure that this is for a personal record. That's why I'm saving it for my personal record. But anyway, if you decided to attack the Temple of Nod, just make sure that you are ready for a nuclear missile strike and uh, you clear out any nearby uh, defending units in your base because most likely the boom. See, a nuclear missile strike just occurred and it cleared out two buildings, and those are the two buildings that were left. And this is the final structure, the advanced power plant, the final structure in this particular base. and in this particular map. Once that's done, the mission will be accomplished. Finish, mission accomplished. And here, before I quit, I'm just going to show a little bit of cinematic, and I'm going to show the record in this end of credit. And there's a counting of casualty and counting of building loss. I'm going to show it to you before I sign off. Done, finish, and here I'm signing off. Bye bye. Boom.